Hello everyone, this is Here's Trivia. Welcome back to Season 4 of our subscriber game tournament as we continue here with Round 1 action. And today we're kicking off Group C. And in the first match, we have Soviet Bear in the green side versus Big Boy Roy in the red. So looking at their composition, Soviet Bears bring in He Man, Liu Chong, and Yan Baihu. And these combination of generals suggest a lot of range abilities. We have Hail of Arrow on He Man, we have Poison Volley on Yan Baihu, and we have Show Force on Liu Chong. A lot of micro, but a lot of power on these abilities. Then for units, we have some cheap Yellow Turban Spearmen, we have a key unit in the Chanter, which provides AoE buff for nearby unit, and 2 Unbreakable Yellow Sky Herald. On Liu Chong, we have 3 Chen Peacekeepers, and finally 3 Pearl Dragon, which will be invisible due to Yan Baihu's stock ability for his retinue, and 2 Lancer Militia Cavalry. Sneaky cavalries can be quite powerful as well. Then looking at Big Boy Roy on the red side, we have the Yuan clan's familial conflict ability activated between Yuan Shao and Yuan Tan, and Sima Yi, which does bring a nerf version of Whitewater into the game. We are playing with a balance mod for multiplayer that was created just for the tournaments, and Sima Yi is not so broken anymore so that he can be picked. Then looking at the units, we have 5 Xiongnu Cavalry with decent charge bonus, 2 Ye Vanguard Spearmen, which are great at anti-cav, a couple heavily armored Z infantry, as well as some Northern Veteran Sword Guard with 1 very high ranks crossbow, which I think is pretty smart because you get all the melee bonus as well as the range bonus when you level them up, and they're probably the most efficient unit to level up amongst all the available ones here. So let's see how these two comps clash. One side with all the active range abilities, and the other side going with some passive abilities, and we'll see which side comes out on top. And as we load into game here, we can see that deployment is actually all over the place, especially for Soviet Bear, as he has his He Man up front, getting ready to do some hail of arrows. We have Liu Chong with all the infantry clumped up here. We have a group of Pearl Dragons to the right. We have a group of Chen Peacekeeper in the back. We have Yan Baihu, who's sneaky and invisible behind enemy line with his invisible cavalry. And we'll see how this goes. I have a feeling that it's a little bit too disjointed, and it's going to be a lot of microing to pull off all the timing correctly and not get chased down by the enemy cavalry and lose your generals just early on to the enemy unit. Now, for those who are curious, the mod changes that we have for balancing mod for Whitewater now has a 100 meter range. It's not infinite range, which made it way too overpowered. You can also shut down this ability if you put him under fire, as in he's get under attacked. So basically, this restricts some of his power from Whitewater and makes him a playable character. This will play a factor into using these abilities because you want to use them outside of 100 meters, which is probably where you want to use them anyways, since these are range abilities. So for the most part, they will be fine, but Sima Yi can actively run towards you and try to shut down your cooldown by applying Whitewater against you. So it'd be a pretty interesting counterplay to this comp here, and we'll see how Soviet Bear and Big Boy Roy duel it out here. We'll see which unit get moved first, because that's actually a pretty interesting question here. Ayama was coming up. I think if I was Soviet Bear with this range comp, I would run delays. I wouldn't put any of these units in the front. I would actually just pull them in the back and just try to buy more time so that I can finish up my 4 use of the Poison Volley and 4 use of the Hail of Arrows. Maybe the Hail of Arrows coming right now? No, they're running away. Yeah, the problem is you're right next to their cavalry. They see them, but they didn't see them before, so this was the earlier command. Now they're going to try to chase, and I don't know how He Man... I mean, He Man's fast, but he's still in a pickle here. Whitewater's activated. He can't use Hail of Arrow now because Sima Yi is here. He probably shouldn't lead them to Yan Baihu. A lot of different things are happening in a lot of different areas, so I'm going to do Bird's Eye. Ooh, leading them to Yan Baihu might not be a great idea because it's not like he can save you. You're just bringing trouble to him. Just use your own speed. He Man's very fast. Yan Baihu is in position. Whitewater's not being applied. Let's see if he can shoot a very nice poison volley against this line of infantry. It looks like the cavalry's picked up on him, but I think he has enough time. Yep. Ooh, he's targeting pretty far. We do get scratches. Just missed this one, but these two all got poisoned. This one got spared. Now can he get out? Yeah, the question is, can they get out? I think if the Chen Peacekeeper were here, firing crossbows at the cav, they would give up that chase. Square formation, shooting crossbows, that actually will probably friendly fire into the cavalry more than killing the unit. But you can see Heman's just stuck, getting chased down by 3 generals. Yeah, aggressive vanguard deploying is very gamble, very much a gamble, because you don't know how they're deploying. Charging the infantry up? Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that decision either. So he's trying to sack the cavalry to buy time for Heman to leave. But Heman's still swarmed by a few units, and he's almost routing. This infantry line running up against these crossbows might not be the greatest idea. So the 2 cavalry are gone. Heman can bounce back, but I don't think they're going to give him a chance. I think they're going to send their cavalry or send their generals to make sure he cannot come back. We got show of force, maybe? Yamai was stuck. I don't know why these Chen Peacekeeper are not being used. They're probably the best thing to deter enemy cavalry. And Chanter's going in the back. A Chanter shouldn't be going up. I think there's definitely a chaos going on with the grouping. It's just a lot of microing, and I think it's very difficult to pull off. So Chanter needs to stay in the back to provide the extra 10% damage and 10% armor, and then the other unit need to charge up. They're getting boosted, which is nice. But unfortunately, I think both generals are maybe goners. Yeah, run to the Pearl Dragons. They would help you against these. And they're invisible, so they can catch them charging into them. You can actually set up an invisible spear line, or in this case, polearm weapons still, and then get the enemy cavalry to actually charge in there. Let's see if they send the Sunlu Cav into the Chanters. A very valuable unit to wipe out. Oh, they're just going for the rear flank. I mean, this is worth a lot more, I think, than killing off a unit here, because you're technically helping out with 5 different fights instead of just 1 fight. Oh, Yamahu still wasn't able to get free. I mean, run to the Pearl Dragons would have been the solution. Now the Chen Peacekeeper is finally coming up. It's usually not a good idea to separate your own army, right? Because everyone has the same amount of funding, so you have the same number of, or same value of units. And if you're fighting the enemy with less, that's just not gonna, help you. Will there be a second wave of fighting? I don't know why these units are waiting. Okay, it's okay target to charge at. It's not gonna do too much. And I think it's just gonna get you in trouble. Okay, Yamai will find an angle here to shoot a couple units, maybe. Finally going after the Chanters. Finally moving the Pearl Dragons. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of microing chaos. Double down on 2 abilities. There's no range shooting at them yet. That's a pretty preemptive one. I mean, even if they are shooting, there's not a lot of standalone targets causing the issues. Are we going to get a poison volley? He has to do it at distance, because remember, white water is a thing. Yep, white water is being applied. Sima Yi actually found the perfect comp to counter. Okay, here comes the Pearl Dragon, but they're stacked, in a way where they're not going to land charges, because they're going to go through their own units. And that's basically no charge damage done, which is a bit unfortunate. And then we have Dochuan dying here. Probably dismounted. Yep, dismounted and super fast attack speed. Due to familial conflict being a bonus applied to both of them. Make really quick work of generals. Yeah, Yamahu was just being hunted by Sima Yi, who's... My job is to make sure you can't do anything. Yeah, the Pearl Dragon here is having a hard time just... they need to be applied separately. You need to maybe charge 1 at them, get 1 on this side and then charge, get 1 on this side and then charge. Because right now most of them are not actually in fights. Yamahu unfortunately is now kind of hovering around that edge of routing away, and if the army values go down anymore and we start seeing army loss, he's probably just going to go down without doing anything. Desperate charge. See, the problem is still you're charging into your own units first before hitting enemies, and that's just going to make your charge super ineffective. Like, charging here would be okay. Even though it's a spear unit, it's not being braced. It's a good rear opening up for them to hit. Chanter's still alive, but probably should move over here because that's where most of the units are. And this side's already all dead. Ooh, they pulled out, but there's no second command to get another charge. They're cycling the commander abilities between these two, and it's giving a lot of good value. They're trying to kill somebody a little too late. A little too late. Might as well charge this. Clear this up, get these units freed up so they can fight other things. You can see how inefficient these pro dragons are. They're overstacked. Like this entire group is not really fighting where I'm circling right here. Because the point of contact's just the outer band right there. This group got tangled as they were sent down. Yeah, the Chanter's getting moved, but going through the enemy is probably going to get them killed. Yamahu can't get another poison volley down? I mean, he's just hovering around this. I mean, the 100 range is about this big. It's not that big. They get a lot of use out of that, and obviously Inspiring Surge is going to help shorten that cooldown between the two of them, and most of the unit can actually stay. I mean, even without that bonus, just having Distant Courage means most of them are pretty much unbreakable. Now we're kind of like got this line formed. The cavalry's just not finding themselves any favors. I mean, rear charging unit who are distracted is probably the best option here. Anybody who just can't find a target? This is not a, why don't we shoot over here? What are we thinking about here? Yeah, that's not a good idea. I stepped into 100-meter range. You can see the white water pickup. Like, go here and shoot this way. He's invisible until now, but he can't take any more damage. They're coming. Okay, they traded one cavalry off, but more are coming at them. Still in whitewater range. It's a slow fight because on one side you have the armor, you have all the boosts, and then on the other side you just have like sort of natural evasion. And the spear's rushing up. They're not getting away this time. And that's a useful job. Make sure they don't bounce back. There's still 14 of them. Trying to pull them away. Yeah, they have too much boost going on. More melee evasion, more unbreakable. Oh, poison volley finally. I think it friendly fired as well. Hit 3 different groups. Routed 2 of the only unit. Army loss kicked in. Too little, too late. And I'm sure army loss is going to kick in for these. Well, actually, these are unbreakable yellow turbans. They will die eventually. The Pearl Dragon's already all gone. Probably routed away and then killed off after the rout. You do more damage to routed units, so they died pretty fast. And these Gwyn-yielding militia of virtue is not going to last that long. There goes the Yellow Sky Herald, and we have 7 survivors squished in the midst of enemy armor and weapons, getting killed right here. Another round of unyielding earth. This is just a little bit too much. Like, the downtime is very short with 2 sets abilities. Because usually it's 30-second active and then 120. So you have to wait for 2 minutes, but then it's shortened by half by the ability Inspiring Surge, so it's only 60-second downtime. And with 2 different sets, it's actually only 30-second downtime over like a 90-second period, because you can apply 30, and then when that's done, you apply the second 30, and then the first 30's cooldown has 30-second remaining. That's the only time when you don't have it, and then you just rinse and repeat, and it's pretty incredible. So basically you have it up 2/3 of the time. Now, looking at the casualty numbers, it's pretty clear what happened. I think for Sylvia Bear, the deployment is what brought him into ruins. And also, this comp in general takes a lot of microing. And the microing is basically you use your range ability to bait the enemy into chasing you. Chen Peacekeepers are actually pretty good at keeping that distance. They have decent range as a crossbow unit on horseback, protects your generals from enemy cavalry, because you can just line them up behind your generals and have your generals walk up to shoot their ability. In particular, Neutron's ability is infinite usage, so just go up and shoot your show of force. Come back. If the enemy respawn with their cavalry, then you can easily have your crossbows shoot at them, so they can't really approach or take losses. And even if they come up close through the crossbow, you still have decent melee cavalry to fight them off, and they have the rest of your line to protect you. The invisible units on Yanbai Hu, they should have been, used to provide sort of these hidden areas where your generals can run to if they're getting chased. So you can lure their cavalry into a bunch of your spear units, or in this case, your glaive unit. And those 2 cavalry should have been, finding openings when the enemy's distracted to maybe go wipe out their crossbow unit or hunt down one of the generals they're not microing. Sneaky things like that. You can actually deploy together first and then move them to other places to sneak. The uncertainty on the enemy is a lot scarier, and then having everything just kind of piecemeal, it just doesn't do you any favors. And Big Boy Roy played his comp perfectly. Whitewater is very useful. First time we've seen that played. I think after we did the mod balance, I don't think I've seen any Sima Yi for the past 2 tournaments. So this might be the first one we've seen with this modification. That makes him more balanced and playable. And we've seen plenty of the familial conflict abilities, very good at killing generals once you dismount. And we've seen that with good infantry unit, they can use Unyielding Earth on repeat, at least for every 60-second per 90-second, it'll be up and running. You get unbreakable, over 100% melee evasion units that are just going to be hard to kill. So that result was pretty expected once we saw the deployment, how that played out. And good start to Group C. We have 2 more matches for today, so look forward to that, and we'll see you guys then. Bye!